Alrighty, so the patch has just dropped, and I've been messing around with the new final boss quite a bit. I'm trying to figure out what's the best to really sort of do here. And so on JP and Korea, they had two separate teams that were like top tier teams, and those two were particularly this Bond setup. But the biggest problem with this Bond team, I know everybody's kind of using it in the PvP meta right now, and if you're a newer player and you did summon for Bond and everything like that, you might be able to use this, but the big kicker is that you need Bond to be 6/6, so that way you can actually get off rupture damage and stuff like that. You may end up being able to do it without a 6/6 Bond, but from my experience so far messing around with the team, I have not been able to really burst down the second phase, just purely off of the fact that they sort of like regen most of their health at the beginning of their, like, once it ticks over to their turn. So without having rupture and them having so many buffs on and stuff like that, I really don't recommend this one. You might be able to try it out if you don't have the recommended units for the other team, but this is going to be the team that I am messing around with currently. I know that it looks kind of intimidating because some of you may not have Ludo, some of you may not have Green Gother. This Green Arthur is relatively new, and he's pretty, I think they gave him out for free if I'm not mistaken, so you should hopefully have him. Death Pierce is on a lot of banners at this point, or has been, so hopefully you guys already have Death Pierce, but you can obviously substitute out Green Gother for Red Gother. I think the biggest reason why people are using him is mainly just for rank ups and stuff like that, so it's not really like the biggest deal if you don't have the green version of Gother, but Ludo is a very interesting one. I think the biggest reason people are using Ludo is basically just for his AoE rupture skill, which is very, very helpful for this fight, because if you don't know, every time you attack them, they put resistance buffs on and stuff like that, so they're going to have buffs where you can actually take advantage of the rupture. So, if you don't have Ludo, or you don't have him all the way built up or anything like that, Blue Coin Shop Deanne is actually pretty helpful for this fight, because she also has a AoE rupture skill as well. You can use her for the fight. It's not going to be quite as good of results, I wouldn't imagine, but it is a little bit more free-to-play friendly and stuff like that, so you can try that if you really need to. Other than that, I don't really know what else you would be able to use for like really high points and stuff like that, but yeah. So, looking at the Oath of Combat, there are a couple of interesting ones. So, clear without food's pretty normal. Clear within a certain amount of stages. I think most of the time it's 7 stages, but they have it pushed to 8 stages on this one, which is pretty nice. And then clear without ultimate moves. We're actually going to not use that one, so that way we can try to get one of the challenges done right here for deal over 400,000 damage in one attack. And then the other one is don't use the one Escanor, which I think is pretty funny. I'm assuming just so that way you have to use another character to deal 400,000 damage. But honestly, if you're speed farming, like if you're just trying to farm the stage to get extra points and stuff like that, so you can trade, for the stuff in the shop, feel free to use Escanor. He's honestly going to destroy this fight. So we're going to hop in, and we'll see how it goes. Alrighty, so the biggest thing that I've noticed doing this first phase here is that Hendrickson is going to be your biggest problem, mainly because he is just going to try to like build back up his HP a whole lot. I think it's at the end of his, or on his second phase, or second turn, he is going to try and use he'll use a skill that basically buffs his HP by a lot, so he becomes really, really tanky. So try to get off a decent amount of damage if you can in this first turn, because their passive, like recovery and stuff like that, is pretty ridiculous as well. Like, they're going to gain a lot of HP back at the end of each turn, or at the beginning of their turns, so just be aware of that. But honestly, so far, this fight hasn't been too bad, but there are some things that kind of throw you off or can be a big hindrance. Hendrickson lifestealing basically is the biggest hindrance in this first phase, so you want to make sure that you're building up your Arthur cards as much as possible, just because, you're going to have type advantage. He's going to do a pretty good amount of damage on him, so I don't really want to waste a Ludo ult right here at the beginning, but unfortunately I actually don't have I don't have any Ludo cards in hand, so I think we're going to throw out something like this. This should kill Frowdren. Or technically, this is Dreyfus for now. He does switch over to Frowdren, which I think is really funny. And then this might kill? I kind of don't know. Okay, that did pretty good. So the remove buffs on that card is actually the big winner there, because he's just so tanky. You're going to remove that tank buff, and then you're good to go into the second phase. So with this phase here, you want to try to get Arthur's ult pretty early. So we're just going to try to do some pretty quick damage to Frowdren with Ludo here. You can see we do pretty good damage right off the bat. And then we'll get Arthur's ult. And then as long as I crit, I definitely deal over 400k damage just to Hendrickson. So the biggest thing is seeing how much life Frowdren kind of recovers here. So we're only on turn 5 at this point. So we're going to throw this. We can use a Rupture card. And then I think we just go ahead and get rid of Frowdren. Ooh, okay, so that actually didn't do nearly as much as I thought it was going to. Maybe you want to try to go into second phase with your ult already in hand, because I think those resistance buffs actually ended up screwing me over there. Let's just try to build back up an ult and see how we can do. We still got a couple of turns that we can waste, so we're fine on that regard. We're going to move that, merge some cards around. Okay, he has gained all of his HP back at this point. We may be actually dead here. He's gonna kill Ludo. That's unfortunate. Yeah, we're gonna have to do another run. Alright. Let's see how much this does. He doesn't have any resistance buffs or anything like that on, so I'm kind of hoping for big damage here. Nope, still only 252. We do take the phase, though. Okay. But with Ludo dead, this run is pretty much dead in the water. Okay, we actually... I think that actually beat my old score, surprisingly. Okay. We're just going to try it one more time. I'll try to get a better score with this one, see if I can get a better run going. Alrighty. So, just hit second phase. They haven't had time to build anything up or anything like that. We're going to throw out Arthur's ult first turn, see if we can get some pretty decent damage out. I'm hoping I do. Okay, so there's the over 400k. I think he must have some sort of passive that procs or something along those lines that help him cut down damage, or even just bring up his resistance, or whatever the case may be, if you wait further in the turn. So I guess make sure that you have Arthur's ult going into that. I think we are just going to double upgrade on Ludo here, and maybe just go in for a big level 3 attack. We're on turn 6, so we're pretty decent. Okay. So we actually finished it there. I wasn't actually expecting to do that yet, but we got a score of 4,100. That's honestly not too bad. That's definitely the best score that I've gotten so far. Really quickly, though, I've been looking at the scoreboards and stuff like that just to see what other people are using, and it seems like people are using the same team that I'm using right now, but instead of Arthur, they're actually using Berserk Meliodas. So I think that's really interesting. I'm assuming it's just because his main card, or his AoE card, is a Rupture as well. So, you know, he's still going to have type advantage and stuff like that on the, whatchamacallit. He's still going to have type advantage on Hendrickson. So I think I'll actually try that out really quick. We'll just do a quick run of that and see how that goes. So let's move these cards around. I don't know if I have my gear on him, actually, but we'll set it up really quickly. And then my melee or my assault mode's pretty decent. I think I'm only 2.6 on the ult, but actually I might be 3.6. I can't remember exactly. I think I'm 3.6, but I don't really think that that's going to be the big breaking point here. I think you're basically just going for rupture and stuff like that, because he's not going to be able to build up his stacks and stuff like that, so that way you can use the amplify cards. So I'm really interested to see how this one goes. I think we pop something like this and then maybe go in with just ruptures. May have been smarter to upgrade here. I don't really know what I'm specifically doing with this team just yet. So I think we might upgrade, go for a level 3 card here, and then go into a card with Ludo as well. Because I honestly think that Frowdren might end up being the big kicker here. Like, Frowdren ends up being the big pest in first phase. So that is also going to be quite an issue as well, because I'm not going to have a way to cleanse that off, so I'm going to need to do like really big damage, I feel like. I think we just do upgrades on Ludo. I don't know if I kill here actually on Frowdren, because Frowdren's pretty rough. No, I definitely don't kill on Frowdren. Yeah, this may end up killing me here. Yeah, I think this killed this run. I don't know. Maybe the assault mode team is a lot more RNG heavy. Like, maybe it's really specific to get a good score. I don't know. I'm not really sure how this is gonna work. I'll have to forfeit this one though. We'll try it again. I don't know. I might come back and see if I can get a decent run. Okay, so it seems like so far the basic goal of the team is to get assault mode's ult and then kind of burst down with the amplify card, because honestly the rupture really isn't doing a whole lot here. So we're gonna go for ult really quickly. The ult did really good damage in the very first phase. It almost killed Hendrickson straight up. I'm just interested to see how this goes. Okay, they're dealing pretty good damage to me right here. I don't have an amplify card, unfortunately. So I don't know what my best strategy here is. I think we just go for something like this. That did nothing. If I can get some amplify cards, I might be alright, but they're probably gonna ult melee here, and then the run's gonna be over with. I don't know. I used a level 3 amplify card going into it, or in the first phase, to kill off Frowdren, because I basically had to, or else the reflect was gonna kill me. So I don't really know. This is a really tough one. I think this team is just going to be a little bit more RNG based than the Arthur team. The Arthur team has a little bit more going for it, because he can disable buffs and stuff like that at level 3 on his single target ability, and then his ultimate is going to burst down a single target pretty easily. Whereas with this one, you kind of need a lot of setup as far as making sure you have amplify cards and stuff like that in hand. You've already used an ult, so that way you have your buffs. So I think this is pretty much a dead run. I don't know, pretty interesting. I'll have to kind of keep messing with it a little bit, but honestly, I think the first team that I was using with Arthur might be a little bit more consistent for the moment, but I'm gonna keep trying, keep going at it, see if I can get a decent run on the assault mode variant, because that seems to be the one that people are getting really high scores with. So I don't know, I guess I will I'll try to come back with it eventually. I don't know, I might do another video sometime later this week. But yeah, that's pretty much it so far. I mean, this is a pretty decent score, honestly. I mean, I know that it just came out, so I'm obviously going to drop quite a bit, being in the top 3.5. But I would imagine, even me being in, you know, top 3.5 right now, I'll probably still stay with, you know, definitely below I'll definitely stay in top 25%. I would imagine, just with that score right there. Unless things just get really out of hand and somebody ends up finding like a really, really good method. So yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it so far. But that's pretty much it. I don't know. I just keep saying that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I will see you guys in the next video.